Hi everyone, I hope you're doing really well today on day 7. We have reached the middle of the week, well done. I hope that you are still staying sane and that you've managed to do at least a couple of the sessions that we have been putting out for the last week. Again, it's a beautiful sunny day, so when you get a chance, do try and get out for that one walk or one run or whatever that is today. But otherwise, today is a little bit different. So I'm going to do some yoga poses, but we've had a request for something to kind of loosen and mobilise into the lower back, as well as maybe strengthening a little bit. So what I should say is, if you are having any lower back problems and you're not sure what you should be doing, then please do consult with a physiotherapist. We are doing virtual appointments at the moment, but if you have been seeking treatment and your physio says it's okay, then please give these exercises a go. They're just designed to gently loosen you up, and do keep your requests coming because they really help me with generating content and knowing exactly what you want. Tomorrow we'll go back to doing another kind of yoga flow, and then on Friday we're going to go back to doing some Pilates. Have a great day everyone, and see you soon. Okay, so everything that we're going to be doing is on our mat, so we're not going to be standing or anything today. So if you have a mat, that's great. If you don't, then just lay maybe a couple of towels on top of each other. If you are using towels and you've got wooden flooring, definitely double layer. But if you do have some carpet, then try it on the carpet. Otherwise, roll out your mat. And we're just going to start with our cat-cow. Now we've got 7 different poses today which will all do different things, but the design is to again help with that lower back, both with mobilisation and later with a bit of strengthening. So bringing yourself onto your hands and your knees, wrists are coming underneath our shoulders, and to begin with, our knees are coming underneath our hips, alright? So we're in this lovely square position, and I just want you to begin with that pelvis tucked under, alright, nice flat back, shoulders are flat, so we're not winging into our shoulder blades, we are nice and flat with those shoulders. And we're going to inhale, and as we exhale, we take your hips slightly back, and then we're going to round over with the spine. Now you'll notice how I've got quite a restricted lower back anyway. So try to get as much movement into the lower back, from the lower back all the way into the upper back, as much as is comfortable for you. So we exhale to come back into our cat, drawing our belly button up. Alright, and we inhale to come through into the square of our arms. So you can either just come through and very lightly dip into the lower back, or keep a flat back here. If you don't have too much discomfort by coming into a full cow, so really tilting into that pelvis, then do that. So we use our breath as we exhale, we come back into cat. As we inhale, we come through into our cow. So we exhale back, inhale through. And we're going to try and breathe through our nose. So we're breathing in through the nose, breathing out through the nose. And your movement is guided by your breath, rather than your breath being guided by your movement. And by that I mean, when you need to inhale, you come forward. When you need to exhale, you come back. So it's a lot more natural and just helps you move into a safe position. Okay, so that's our first exercise there. Feel free to do a couple more. Just really starting to move and just isolate each part of the spine to allow you just to loosen off there. Loosening, loosening, loosening. Alright, so our next exercise is actually going to be a downward facing dog. Now this one's great because you're not getting any arch into the lower back, alright, but you are getting a lovely long stretch into the hamstrings, which stretches also a little bit into the glutes, okay, and just takes the pressure off the lower back. So if we're in our cat-cow, we're going to take our hands slightly further forward, we're going to tuck our toes, and we're going to draw our hips all the way back towards the sky. So we're drawing our chests back towards our thighs, and if you need to, just bend into the knees, okay?
because that's going to, again, take a little bit of pressure off the hamstrings. All right, and if you are doing that, you might just want to pedal the heels in this position, just starting to actively or dynamically stretch into those hamstrings, really drawing the chest back towards your thighs. Relax your face, turn your head from side to side, and start to build the strength into your shoulders, into your arms, but feel a lovely big pull into that lower back. And you're going to inhale to come onto tiptoes, and you're going to exhale to lower down. And just hold that here. Feeling as comfortable as you can. If you need to bend this at any point, then you can. And you might just want to spend 4 breaths here. Between each round, just take a quick break, okay? And then coming back in and doing another 4 breaths. And I recommend doing 3 rounds of that, really drawing belly back towards your thighs, okay? Making sure that if your hands are slipping, you're just moving yourself back, all right? Really, really helping. I tend to find that if I breathe on my hands, pressing up my thumbs and my forefinger slightly more into the ground, and I slip less, and it takes some pressure with the thumb and forefinger off my wrist. Okay, so we're going to lower ourselves back down there. So our next exercise is going to be our cobra pose. Now this one, I should say, is a back bend. So this is more about strengthening into the lower back. So if you do have a lot of discomfort, then be very, very careful with this one. So we're coming onto our belly. Our legs are nice and straight, thighs on the ground. Okay, hands are coming just underneath and sort of slightly to the back of our shoulders. And you're going to inhale. As you exhale, you're going to squeeze into your bottom and just lightly guiding with your hands, you're just going to come up, inhale, and as we exhale, we're just going to release back down. So really want you to squeeze into your glutes, into your bottom, okay, to protect into the lower back, and use your hands as a light guide, so you can put as much or as little pressure into them as you need to. So we inhale to come up, we exhale to lower back down. We inhale to come up. We exhale to lower back down. The less pressure you put on the hands, the more you're working into your lower back, so you might not come quite as high. Okay, so we inhale, come up. We exhale to lower down. If you do want to come a little bit higher, you can slightly put some more pressure into your hands, but then you aren't working quite so much into your back. Breathing in, breathing out. So a good counter to this is coming back into child's pose, and that's a really good stretch. So you're going to come back, all right, bring your knees slightly forward, take your knees as wide as is comfortable, pop your toes together, and then just draw your hips back towards your heels and stretch everything out. You can either rest your head on a cushion, on a block, or on the floor. If you are very uncomfortable in this position, then you can come onto your forearms as well if you can't come all the way down and that's not comfortable for you. And I also appreciate not everybody's going to be able to get their hips back towards their heels. So if you need to, I often will advise people to pop cushions just between the calf and the thigh, just to allow you to relax back, and then the more comfortable that you get, the more that you can lightly push back towards the heels. So we stretch down here, breathing in, breathing out, letting our shoulders go. Breathing into the back. And this is a great one just for loosening off right at the bottom of the spine. And while you're down here, you can vary it up. So you can take your hands over to the right hand side of the mat, inhale, and as you exhale, you can relax down. And that gives us a lovely stretch into the side of the body, okay, while still stretching into that lower back. And you can just either rest your head on your arm, or if you are quite flexible, you might just want to rest it on the floor, whatever works for you there. Again, if you've got a block or a cushion, you can pop that there too. Breathing in, breathing out. And then we're going to do the same on the other side. So really stretching there, okay, deep breath. And as we exhale, we relax down. Now, if you find that this is too much, all right, you can
keep the arm of the side that you're reaching towards on the forearm, and then just stretch out with the opposite side. You're still going to get that lovely stretch, but you're not quite so far down towards the ground, and it might be a little bit more comfortable for you. So breathing in, breathing out there. When you're ready, you can push all the way up. Now, child's pose is a really great one for those of you who just need to have a loosen off because you've been sat at your desk. The lovely thing about being at home is that you've not got anyone in the middle of the office who's looking at you funny because you're down on the floor doing a child's pose. So, next one we're going to do is our half Lord of the Fishes. Okay, so start with your legs straight out in front of you, and we're going to sit nice and tall. You're going to take your right leg over your left, so popping your foot onto the floor. You're going to sit nice and tall onto your sit bones, and if you aren't overly flexible here, or you do have some issues into the back, then just hug the right knee towards you with your left arm. Take your right hand behind you nice and close to the bottom, and you're going to inhale to lift into the spine. As you exhale, you're just going to lightly turn and try and look over that right shoulder. So you're getting a twist into the spine. Now, if you are quite flexible here, you might want to take your the outside of your upper arm onto the thigh. And you might even want to take a chin mudra here. Just channel that consciousness, sit nice and tall, shoulders are relaxed, looking over that shoulder. And again, if you are quite flexible into the hip and into the legs, then you can lift up your right sit bone, tuck under that left leg, and try and sit back down. You feel a bit of a stretch into that right hip. Okay, so this is our full position here. Breathing in, breathing out. Just breathing, and remember, you can be as far into this position or towards the beginning poses as you like, alright? There's no need to push yourself. Listen to your back and listen to your body. Breathing in, breathing out. I'm going to do that on the other side. So we release off there. Okay, we let that leg go, and then we're going to take our left leg over our right leg this time. So really try and pop the sole of the foot onto the mat, nice and close to your other leg. We sit nice and tall. Alright, we hug that leg in. Left arm comes behind us, on the fingertips or the palms of the hands, depending on how long your arms are. We're going to sit nice and tall as we inhale, and as we exhale, we're looking over that left shoulder. So breathing in, breathing out. Really letting yourself go here. Sitting nice and tall, and again, remember, if you want to, arm can come on the other side of thigh. You can take a chin mudra, and if you feel like you can come into that full half Lord of the Fishes pose and sit nice and tall here. Relax your shoulders. Breathing in, breathing out. And remember, only go as far as your body allows. Breathe in, breathe out. And relax off there. Okay, so we have two more. So the next one is our bridge, and this is building strength into our glutes, okay, and into our hamstrings, but also getting some movement and some mobilization into the spine, okay. So I like to do this in a more Pilates method because I really like that peel that you get. So when you're ready, we're going to roll ourselves all the way down. Bring yourself onto the floor, okay, bring your feet together, you take your toes out and your heels out, and we're just going to bring ourselves into a centered position. So I want you to just take your hands onto your hips and just lightly arch the spine, very lightly, particularly if you get discomfort into the lower back, and then press it into the ground. So you're going to do this a couple of times, so you're tilting into the pelvis. Again, this is a bonus one. This is a really great one if you suffer with low back pain. Those light pelvic tilts just to loosen off everything.
You can just leave your bottom on the floor and you can just do these. This is the lowest option actually for the bridge, which is what we're about to go into. So find your happy medium, draw that belly button down towards your spine, and in order to stop flaring those ribs, really tuck that lowest rib down towards the hip. We're going to take our fingertips onto the floor, or your little fingers, depending on how strong you are here. Keeping those heels nice and close to the bottom for this one, try and keep your toes facing forward. And we're going to try and extend that neck long at the back whilst keeping those ribs nice and flat. Okay, so we're going to inhale. As we exhale, we're going to drive down to the heels, squeezing into the glutes. You're going to try and peel off the back, one part at a time, until you reach the top. Deep breath in at the top. As we pause and as we exhale, you try and peel the back down, right from the top of the back, all the way down through the lower back and down. Okay, so we're going to do this a couple of times. Inhale as we exhale, you squeeze into the bottom, drive the heels down into the floor, and you come all the way up. So we're really building strength into those glutes, all right? Making sure that we're really driving into those heels, peeling that back up and down, and just getting that movement, that segregation between each part of the each vertebrae, part of the spine. So we're coming up and coming down, and again you'll notice my blockage in my spine as I'm coming down, so nobody is perfect, alright? So I'd suggest doing 8 to 10 of these depending on how comfortable you are doing this. And then we're just going to go into our final position. So I'd like you to take your arms nice and wide for this, alright? This is when you can check if you've got your clean floors. So we're going to inhale, taking one leg into tabletop, and you're going to exhale to take the other leg into tabletop. And you're just going to inhale, and as you exhale, you're just going to come over to one side, if that's comfortable for you. Or you can slightly take your knees down if it's really uncomfortable, alright? And you're going to look over towards your opposite hand. So this is just getting a nice twist into the spine. If you want to, before you do this, you can take your bottom over to the opposite side that you're going. So if your knees are going over to the right, you can take your bottom to the left, okay, lift, and then come over. And it just gets that really nice twist, keeping both shoulders on the floor and looking over towards your fingers. If this is too much, you can just leave your knees on the floor, take your bottom over to the left, leave your feet on the floor, take your bottom over to the left, and then just drop your knees, okay? Looking over to the opposite hand to the way that your knees are going, so you're getting a twist all the way through the back. How far you go depends on how comfortable you are, as long as you can keep those shoulders on the ground, alright? So we inhale back to centre, we take our bottom over to the other side, and as we exhale, we just let the knees go onto the other side. Okay, looking over towards our opposite hand, and remember, if you want to do it in full, you can come up with the legs into tabletop, take the knees together, and then come over, looking over towards your right arm. Breathing in, breathing out. And coming back into centre. Take those feet back down. Take your knees into centre, and again, another bonus one, just taking your legs into either your armpits or your chest, whatever's comfortable for you, and just lightly rock from side to side, very lightly. This is kind of like a opposite version, kind of less extreme than our child's pose, because you can control how much you bring your legs in towards you. Just keeping those feet nice and together, and just loosen off there. You might want to take your hands onto your knees and just draw circles, massaging that lower part of the spine and your pelvis into the ground. I like to do this anyway because it just releases you off a little bit. And then you can pop your feet down, either doing a really good roll up or helping yourself back up to seated. And then just, you can do this as many times as you like. I would say not to overdo it, so if you're not used to doing any of these poses or exercises, then just give them a go. Maybe do a handful of reps, maybe 4 or 5 to begin with, and just try and do these every day if you can.
just loosening everything up, and you'll be very surprised at how much it does make a difference. So I hope you enjoyed today, a little bit different as I said, and if you have any more requests then let us know.